All right. Well, hope everyone's day's going all right. Plugging along. Um, my other classes on Monday, we'll take a little time to make sure you're feeling good about it. Make sure you don't have any questions. Make sure, I don't know, we all kind of have a grasp on what's happening. I took a couple minutes in my first period class to answer some questions. Like I said, I want to spend more time on that on Monday, but if anybody has any burning questions about confusion about what's going to happen next week, I would be happy to try and answer them. Um, I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be exciting. It'll be interesting. Um, I don't know. Anybody have anything they're super confused about and need some
Go.
clarification?
You talking about next week?
Mm-hmm.
How are we? Okay, so if we do go, how are we supposed to know when we're gonna go?
Okay, so if you're the first half of the alphabet, I think the cutoff is in the L area. J, K, I think it's between K and L. That seems to be right. I'm looking at all my classes. K and L, yeah. So if you are in the first half up through K, your last name, and you are signed up to do hybrid, you would be coming in, you're a red, you're in the red category. So you would come into red days are Tuesday and Wednesday, okay? If you are the second half of the alphabet, like you are, Sandra, then you would be planning to come in on Thursday and Friday, okay?
Oh,
And what happens then, so some of you are staying virtual 5 days a week, just like what you're doing now. About a third of you is the way it's worked out. And then about a third of you will come in for black days on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the other third will come in for, did I say that wrong? I think red days are first. Red days are Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the black days are Thursday and Friday. But again, it's just based on your last name unless you had some sort of weird permission to do it a different day. And then, so the other 3 days, you'll still be virtual. So you just come in, everybody's virtual on a Monday. Nothing changes on a Monday, except for our schedule is different on a Monday. And then these days, if you're at home, then you just Zoom in like you normally do. And if you are in person, then you're still going to bring your computer and you're not going to Zoom in because you'll be here, but you'll still use Canvas and all the rest of it. So you'll still want to bring your computer to school every day. Anybody else general? I'll go through, like I said, more details on Monday, just about what you can expect. And I don't know, if you think of questions between now and then you can, but if anybody's super confused like Sandra was, and you want to ask something now, I'm happy to try and answer it. Anybody else? Okay, that'll be fine. We'll figure it out. So it's exciting. I don't know, some of you, I don't know, maybe you're freshmen, I've never been to North Central. I don't know, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. So, like I said, if you have questions or your parents have questions, gather them. And on Monday, we'll give you some time and I'll kind of talk through what things will look like. And then once you get here on Tuesday or Thursday, if you're coming, you'll get more instructions on what things are going to look like too. So it'll be interesting. It'll be exciting. All right, so today we are going to do a quick listening activity. And then we're going to talk about reflexive verbs. We're going to figure out how they work. We're going to take a little break from vocab. I feel like we've been working really hard on vocab this week, kind of learning things like el cepillo de dientes. So we're going to let that rest for a minute and figure out how to actually use these verbs and what they mean. And then we'll just kind of keep working on things next week. So I'm going to do this listening activity with you. So really, you don't need anything except maybe a necesitan papel. Can you find a place to jot down some answers for me? That would probably be helpful. If you really have nothing, I guess you could open like a Word document, but you're going to need to see what I project. So pause for a second, find something you can jot on. You don't need much space, just need a little area to jot. And we'll do this. All right. So I'll share my screen with you. Make sure you can see it. You'll need it. All right, so this is what we went through yesterday. We've been working so hard on all our vocab. You're starting to feel good about, I don't know, afeitarse with the F for face. So you remember your craving, cortarse el pelo, pintarse las uñas, secarse, cepillarse los dientes. I know we haven't gone through a couple of them. We'll save. We'll get to them next week. Ducharse, despertarse, but all of these items we've been through, you should be recognizing. So we're going to head down here to cosas necesarias, necessary things. All right, so the way this is going to work, we're not using those directions because those go with the textbook, which you don't have. So we're going to use directions right here. So I will read them to you. It says, escoge el objeto que menciona el joven. Escoge means choose. If you've never seen that word before, or pick. So you're going to pick. You should be able to figure out the rest. El objeto que menciona el joven. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to pick what? What am I picking? Somebody help me with the directions. By the way, you are getting a participation grade today. So for those of you that have said less than others, make sure you are paying attention to this particular listening activity so you can get yourself an extra point or two. All right, so you want to tell me what we're doing? Escoge, I said, means pick. What's el objeto que menciona el joven?
The object that is mentioned.
Yeah, right? The object does not look like object. That is mentioned. Thanks, Sandra. All right, so that's what you're going to do. Again, it's an activity where you don't even have to know what these mean. I mean, it'd be great if you did, right? We've talked about el cepillo and el desodorante and la toalla and el peine. But for this particular activity, it's kind of a basic level, like, can you hear the word desodorante and connect it to that word? Can you hear the word el cepillo in the sentence and connect it to that word? So I will play these for you twice. So the first time, just go through and all you have to do is write down A, B, C, or D. All right, everybody ready? Got something to write with? All right, here comes numero uno. I can't really, the one gets cut off. So I'll just tell you the number. All right, here we go.
1. Necesito una toalla limpia para mi ducha.
All right, see if you caught it, write it down. If you didn't, don't stress. I'm going to play it again. You get ready for number 2. All right, here comes dos.
2. Para el pelo, necesito un peine.
3.
3. También necesito un cepillo.
4.
4. Necesito mi desodorante.
5.
5. Ah, y necesito mi cinturón.
6. Last one.
6. Para esta boda, quiero usar mis joyas de oro.
All right, so let me go back to the beginning. I'll play them for you one more time. If you missed something, your goal is obviously to listen again. I thought that first one is actually maybe a little bit harder. It's a little bit quick when they say it. So see if you can fill it in. If you think you got them all, then you check your answers, and there will be a follow-up question afterwards as to what it means. So if you know the word is el cepillo, but you don't know what it means, you go ahead and look it up real quick, check your vocab list, and then you can be ready to share that with us afterwards. Okay, here we go from the top. Número 1.
1. Necesito una toalla limpia para mi ducha.
Here comes dos.
2. Para el pelo, necesito un peine.
3.
3. También necesito un cepillo.
Cuatro.
4. Necesito mi desodorante.
Cinco.
5. Ah, y necesito mi cinturón.
Y número seis, last one.
6. Para esta boda, quiero usar mis joyas de oro.
All right. So let's go through these one more time. I thought one was probably the hardest one. They just said it a little bit faster. So let's see. I am happy to take volunteers, but I am going to try to grab the people that could use a point first. So if you know you need a point and you want to volunteer, do so. Otherwise, maybe just rest for a second and let me go down my list and let people get an opportunity to get another point here. Okay. So numero uno, let's see. How about Gabby? Gabby, what did you get, uno?
No.
No. All right. How about if I play it again, Gabby? Listen one more time. I'll play it again.
1. Necesito una toalla limpia para mi ducha.
It's a little fast. Did you catch it?
No.
All right, I'm going to say it. Necesito, I think she said, mi toalla limpia para mi ducha. Did you hear it that time?
Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's okay. Just tell me which letter it is. What is she talking about? A, B, C, or D? Are you looking at my screen?
Yeah.
Was I talking about necesito una toalla limpia para mi ducha? What word am I talking about there? You're not here? Go ahead.
This first one?
Not cepillo. No. You want to pass it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Listen, somebody else want to help her? What word are we talking about here? All right.
Which
Ken,
is
go
this?
ahead. Go ahead, Callie. You do that one, and we'll talk about it. Callie, did you unmute? I think maybe you're muted, and maybe you're saying it, and I can't hear you.
Is it C?
Yes. Okay. So I just wanted to get C out so we could talk about it. All right. And do you happen to know what that is, Callie?
Towel?
Okay. So she said, necesito una toalla limpia or something. I need a clean towel. So you just needed to hear the main thing that she was talking about and identify she's talking about el cepillo or brush, desodorante, la toalla, or el peine. And in this case, so it should have been C. She was talking about a towel. All right. If you were confused, I'm happy to play them one more time as we go through them. Does that make sense now? Is everybody with me? If you weren't before? You've got to ask if you're not with me. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to play number 2 again. You're listening for the word that they talk about.
2. Para el pelo, necesito un peine.
Okay, so again, you have to look at my screen because I've got A, B, C, D choices here. All right, so I don't know. How about Aiden? Did you get number 2?
Yeah, is it C?
No. All right. Oh. All right, hold on a second. We'll come back to you. How about somebody else get something different? How about Arissa? Did you get something different? All right, Anaya, I saw your hand go up. What'd you get, Anaya?
A.
A, yeah. So they said, well, see, I can't back it up. Now it's annoying. I'll have to do it after we can go back to it at the end. So something about necesito un peine para mi pelo, right? So what is el peine? Somebody else want to tell me what that is? A little vocab here. Keegan, what's it mean?
It's a comb.
Home, right? All right, I'll play number 3 again. There we go.
3. También necesito un cepillo.
All right. Let's see. Just checking if anybody needs one. How about Bella? Did you get that one, number 3? How about Jaden? Jaden, got number 3? Okay, how about, no, not here. Okay, you guys are good, good, good. How about Layla S? Got number 3? Okay, well, the good news is if I didn't just call on you, oh wait, just kidding. Tommy, how about Tommy? Got number 3? Okay, well, everybody else is doing okay on points. Hamza, what'd you get for 3?
Is it C?
It sure is. El Cepillo, do you happen to know what that is, Hamza?
I forgot.
What if I give you a hint? How about, I bet you know El Cepillo de Dientes. Dientes, does that help?
Oh, is it a brush?
Huh? Yeah, usually people remember El Cepillo de Dientes is a toothbrush, so then you back it up. El Cepillo is a brush. Good.
Mhm.
All right, let's try número 4.
4. Necesito mi desodorante.
All right, 4. Any of those people I called on before? Tommy, Arissa, Anaya, you can still use another point. Bella, Jaden. And you guys want it? Layla. All right, going to Anaya one more time, then I'll open it back up to everybody. Go ahead, Anaya.
D.
It is D. What's el desodorante?
Deodorant.
Good. All right, here comes número 5.
5. Ah, y necesito mi cinturón.
What do you think? Who wants it? Anybody can have it now.
I'll
Reginald.
do it.
Oh, sorry. Who said I'll do it?
Me, Leo.
Leo. Okay, Leo, got it. Go ahead, Leo. Oh, yeah, Leo, you can use a point too. Go ahead, Leo. Sorry, I missed you.
Is it B?
It is B. Do you know what El Cinturón is?
No.
Okay, let me see if this gives you a hint. We talked about, it's a hard one to remember. We said you have to cinch it and it goes around your center. Does that help at all?
Not really.
All right, Maggie, help him out.
A belt.
A belt. Yeah, cinturón's a hard one. It doesn't really look like anything. Leo, sorry I didn't call on you before. I'll call on you again if you have another one in a minute. All right, número 6, last one here.
6. Para esta boda, quiero usar mis joyas de oro.
What do you think? Número 6. Anybody hasn't gone yet? Want to get one? If I didn't call on you, it doesn't mean you couldn't use one, but it means like you have a decent amount. Let's see. I don't know. Layla C.
Is it A?
It is A. Do you remember what las joyas are?
I don't.
You don't. Who else wants to do las joyas? What do they mean? What's that mean? Starts with the J in English too, if that helps. Reginald?
Jewelry.
Jewelry. Yeah, now they said, use your list if you need to here. They said las joyas de oro. We have de oro or de plata. Somebody want to tell me what that last little bit is? What would las joyas de oro be? Keegan?
It means gold jewelry.
Ah, so you can have las joyas de oro or las joyas de plata, right? What would plata be then?
Silver.
Go ahead, Keegan, you're fine. Go ahead. What is it?
Silver.
Silver, right. Muy bien. Okay, well, hopefully we are starting to, feel good about recognizing those words. You should be. Your homework this weekend is just Quizlet, so just spend some time on it so that you are feeling better and better about them. Okay, so the main thing that I want to do today has to do with reflexive verbs. And this is kind of a major thing that we're going to be working on for the next week. So I really need you to focus for like the next 10 minutes while I explain it. Then I'll get you some notes on it. Then we'll do an exit ticket, and then we'll call it a day. All right, should not take the whole period, but I really, really, really need you to focus right now. So whether your camera is on or off, okay, I need you to get on your little focused hat, put on your focus. This is what they teach first graders to do. All right, my daughter has a little song about focus. That's what she has to do. All right, so get on your focus so we can talk about it. All right, all I need you to do is listen, but think. All right, so let me show you some of these words we've been working on. You should have noticed that they all have something in common. Banyar se, sekar se, lavar se. They all have something on the end in common. What is it that they all have on the end in common? What is it? I haven't heard from Avery. What is it? What do they all have on the end in common?
What type of verb? Do you say verbs?
Poner se, lavar se, cepillar se.
Say.
Yeah.
Or,
Right. So maybe you were wondering about that. Now's our time to talk about it. All right. Like I said, listen and it will all make sense. You gotta listen. Okay. So these verbs are what we call reflexive. That means they have a say on the end. All right. When you look at a verb in the infinitive form, if it has a say on the end, which most of the verbs that we're doing right now have on them, it is because they are what we call reflexive. I'll explain what that means in a second. All right. So that means cepillar se is reflexive, lavar se is reflexive, poner se, acostar se, secar se, they're all reflexive. What does that mean? That means that it is something that someone does to oneself. All right. So I brush my teeth. I brush my hair. I dry myself. I get myself dressed. I wake up. I go to sleep. These are things that I do all by myself. All right. Little kids may not be able to do them by themselves. Pets can't do them by themselves, but most of us as fully functioning teenagers and adults can do these things for ourselves. So they are going to be reflexive. The idea is I brush my teeth. You brush your teeth. He brushes his teeth. She brushes her teeth. We all brush our own teeth and they brush their teeth. All right, if I brush my kids' teeth, not reflexive. Has to be something that I do for myself, you do for yourself. All right, so that's what it means when we're talking about a reflexive verb. So, cepillarse los dientes is reflexive because usually that is something we do for ourselves. Now, if I brush my kids' teeth, I just say, oh, cepillar los dientes. All right, but as soon as I brush my own, then it becomes cepillarse. All right, so step one is just understanding what that means and why we use it. Some things can be reflexive and they don't have to be. Like I just said, cepillarse if I'm brushing my own hair or my own teeth, just cepillar if I'm brushing my kids' hair or my kids' teeth. All right, so that's step one. Now, step two, also super important that you listen, is how do I conjugate this? How do I put this in a sentence? All right, so here's how we do it. I'm gonna back you up so you can follow on the board here. And if you pay attention right now, you should get this. All right, I'm gonna go with the verb bañarse. All right, reflexive verb means to bathe, right? To bathe oneself. First thing I would do is ignore this. Let's just pretend like that's not there for a minute. So now I've got an AR verb that I need to conjugate like I normally would. So in your head, you're going, okay, we got yo, we got tu, we got el. Over here, we'll do nosotros, and then we'll do ellos, all right? So regular AR verb. So I'd have baño. In your head, you're thinking it. Bañas. Think it again. Baña. Bañamos. And bañan. All right? All I've done so far is exactly what you've always done. O, as, a, amos, on. Okay? Now I'm halfway there. Now I'm going to go back and deal with this say. All right? So I know that when I use this verb, it's something that I'm doing for myself, you are doing, he is doing for himself, we are doing, or they are doing. So here's what happens. This little se is going to magically go in front of your verb, and it's going to change in some of the forms. So in the yo form, it becomes a me. So you have me baño. In the to form, it's going to go in front. It becomes a te bañas. In the L form, it actually stays the same. Se baña. Nosotros form, it becomes a nos. So we have nos bañamos. And the ellos form, it becomes, it stays the se. So these are almost the same, but you'll notice this is baña and that's baña. So if I want to say I'm bathing, right? Or I'm taking a bath, I'm gonna say me baño. Do you have to include the me? Yes, 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 yes. You have to include the me and the te and the se and the nos and the se. Okay, the yo and the to and the L are optional, but you have to have the me, te, se, nos, or se, and it has to be in front of your verb. I'll say that one last time. You have to have the me, te, se, nos, and se, and it has to be in front of your verb. I'm going to have you repeat then. I know it's weird and awkward because you're looking at a screen, but please humor me and do it. All right. Me baño. Te bañas. Se baña. Nos bañamos. Se bañan. All right. So any of these verbs that we've been doing are all going to work the same way. Conjugate the regular verb, then go ahead, put in the me, te, se. Now, some of them, a couple of them are ER verbs. So make sure you do O, S, A, amos, and N. Okay, so make sure you check if it's an AR, ER, IR verb. You have to be careful about that. All right, so that's the basic idea. You feel like you get it? Did I explain that okay? All right, so listen, I will show you where your notes are on that, but first I want you to try one word for me, okay? Wherever you jotted down before you're listening, let's try to jot down one word and see if you got this. If you've been paying attention, if you think you got it, let's write down the yo form of, I don't know, let's go, I brush my teeth. So here's your verb, cepillarse los dientes. If you wanted to say, I brush my teeth, I want you to jot it down right now. If you do not have paper in front of you and it's easier to put it in the chat, why don't you send it in the chat to me? Okay, show me you are with me, especially if your camera's off and I am unsure. Put that in the yo form. Okay, I'll put up in a second. Can just rest for a minute. All right, I brush my teeth. I brush my teeth. Send it to me in the chat. I got a couple people have sent it, and just send it to me privately. Show me you can do this. I brushed my teeth. Or you can jot it down on your own paper. Sandra, muy bien. JJ, muy bien. Oh, except somebody sent it to me. Wait. Somebody said me baño. Don't use me baño. You're actually going to conjugate this verb, cepillarse. Most of these are looking good. Good.
I've got a question.
Huh?
Can this work if you say what people are saying in the chat? Would that, could that also mean I'm brushing my teeth, or would that be something else?
No, it basically means I'm brushing my teeth. Either I brush my teeth or I'm brushing my teeth. It's interesting in Spanish, this can kind of cover both of those.
All right.
Want to be specific, I am brushing my teeth like right now, you'd have to say it differently, but honestly, this is fine.
Yeah, because then you'd use me cepillando or something like that.
Estoy cepillando, me estoy cepillando. Don't worry about that, just do this. Okay, I'm gonna give you a second, then I'll put the answer on the board. I am thrilled, it looks like most of you are with me. That makes me feel better because sometimes I don't know when your camera's off, I don't know who's there and who's not. All right, so here's what you should have. I'll put it up here and then you let you check it. All right, so we said me cepillo. Oops. I don't want to put that there. Me cepillo los dientes. And I think almost all of them look like that. I brush my teeth, right? We put that in the yo form. We put the me in front. Any question on that? I'm going to show you the notes on it here in a minute, but that's what you should have. Me cepillo los dientes. Okay. So let me show you where the notes are, and I want to just run through them with you, like I said, and then I'll give you your exit ticket. We'll get you out of here. All right, so if you go to your current lesson, let me show you where these are. Don't have it up anymore. Of course I don't. Okay. Okay, so here are the notes. All right, if you like to put those in a Google folder, grab them. If you want to, I don't know, do something else with them, put them somewhere, do that. If you can print them, that's fine. If you are coming into school next week, I am going to give you a little packet of all my notes so that you have them in your hand, because I feel like that's helpful for some people like me. But if you're able to print them, you can. I will screen share them with you right now, so you can just look at them with me. And let me just hit the highlights. This should be nothing new except for at the very end, because we've gone over most of this now. Okay, so listen, here we go. Reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs are used when the subject of the sentence is also the receiver of the action, right? I brush my teeth, I brush my hair, I get myself dressed, etc. A reflexive verb has a say on the end of it in the infinitive form. That's how you can recognize it. You can think of reflexive verbs as when someone is doing something to oneself, like I wash my hands, you wash your hands, he washes his hands, we wash our hands, they wash their hands. Now, here are a bunch of examples, mostly from your vocab. There are a few maybe not on here. Now, I do have to point something out. So look at this real quick with me. Why do I have these highlighted in blue? Well, you'll notice each of these, despertarse, to wake up. I know we haven't done that one yet. Vestirse, to dress oneself. We also haven't done yet. And acostarse, remember we did that yesterday. That was the star one. When you see stars, you go to bed. Have a little stem change. So this one's E to IE, this is E to I, this is O to UE. So you're just gonna have to be careful. All right, they're boot verbs or shoe verbs in addition to being reflexive. I know, lucky you. So what does that mean? That means when you conjugate it, unless it's in the nosotros form, it's gonna have this little spelling change. Here there are two E's. Remember I said if there's two E's, it's always the second E. So it would be me despierto. Here it's E to I, me visto, that's V-I-S-T-O. And here, me acuesto, C-U-E. All right, we'll do some practice on that. Don't overthink it, but if you see one of those verbs, just be careful. It does have a stem change in it. All right, this says these verbs do not have to be reflexive. I talked about that. Here, I bathe the dog. I wash the dishes, okay? I am not dishes, I am not the dog. So I am not doing it to myself. I just say yo baño or yo lavo. I don't put in the me because it's not reflexive. Okay, don't start making everything reflexive. All right, this is how we conjugate it. We just did this. Most of you did it successfully. It says when you have one verb, you have one option. It's what we just did. It says conjugate a reflexive verb as follows, regular verb ending. So it's an AR verb. You have o, as, a, amos, on. Then we went back and we put the me, te, se, no, se in front. So we have me lavo, te lavas, se lava, nos lavamos, and se lavan. All right, last thing that I did not cover yet, so please pay attention. Sometimes you have two verbs. When you have two verbs, you have two options. Two options of where to put the me, te, se, or nos. It goes before the first verb. Okay, I'll show you what that means in a minute right there. Or it can be attached to the second verb. Oh, look, we put it on the end. So what does that mean? All right, usually we're just saying, I wash my hands. Okay, I get dressed. But you could say, I'm going to wash my hands. I need to wash my hands. I prefer to wash my hands. I should wash my hands. I have to wash my hands. That adds a second verb. So if you do two verbs, you'll notice the first verb is always conjugated, voy. The second verb is not, lavar. I'm going to wash. I'm going to wash. And your choice is this little me, te, se either goes in front of the first or after the second. So that won't happen too often, but if you do use two verbs, again, go back and use this as a reference. Okay, so that is the overview. Any quick questions before we look at your exit ticket? Okay, so let's look at this exit ticket. Might as well look at it together, and then you can finish it on your own, and we'll call it a day. All right, so go back to your current lesson if you're not already there. Here's the exit ticket. Go ahead and click on it. It is 7 questions, so make sure you do your best. I think I gave you an extra chance if you need it. So questions 1 and 2, if you've been paying attention, should be no problem. Let's look at question 3 together. So Raúl blank bañarse todos los días. So here we go, bañarse. Well, it's in the he form. So what's going to happen to the verb bañar? What's that going to look like in the he form? Think about it for a minute. Think about it. Think about it. Somebody want to unmute and tell me? What's the he form of bañar?
Say bana.
Okay, so actually I don't even want the say part yet. I just want to know, what is that last letter of bañar going to be?
O-A.
So baña. All right, we know it's baña. So look, yours could be in a different order, but we have 2 that say baña. So we're down to these 2 because it's not we, bañamos, and it's not they, baña. So now the question is, do I need the say or not? Well, if it is a reflexive verb, do I have to have the say? Sure do. So my answer would be say baña. All right, then we got 4, 5, and 6 are all the same. 7, look at 7 with me real quick. Acostarse, I'm reminding you that has a UE in it. So unless it's in the nosotros form, which it is not, make sure you get that little stem change in there. Okay, so be careful on number 7. All right, friends. I need you to finish your exit ticket. Homework over the weekend is Quizlet. I'd say do 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes in one shot, 15, 20 minutes. And that's all I got for you. If you have questions about something, you may stick around. Guys, have a great weekend. Hasta luego. Monday.